welcome to parts number 10 of the Minish playthrough. We're back in Hyrule Castle Town, and now it's time to wake up the shoe vendor. So just go up to him, press R, and you will pull out the wake up mushroom, and he will wake up. And he'll start making your shoes just for free. I think there's some reason why he gives you them for free, but I don't know. And here he talks about where he has the special talent of making shoes in his sleep, which makes absolutely no sense. I don't know. Alright, so he says that since you woke him up, he'll give you the shoes. And now you will get the Pegasus boots, returning from A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening. Yeah, those two games. It's the Pegasus boots, and these allow you to run a lot faster. And with these, we will be able to cross the Castor Wilds swamp with no problem. But the thing is with these Pegasus boots compared to the ones in A Link to the Past, is that you need to equip them in an item slot, which is it's rather annoying. And look, you don't even hold out your sword when you run. I mean, it's just such a downgrade. However, if you head back to Swiftblade with the Pegasus boots, he will teach you another technique. And this technique is basically the ability we had in A Link to the Past, where you hold out the sword when you run with the Pegasus boots. And it's quite a useful ability. It's not as good because you have to use an item slot for A Link to the Past, or an item slot for this game, and not for A Link to the Past. But it's still useful. I kind of wish that they put the dash on the L button, and I felt like that would have worked better. And for kinstone fusions, if you're next to someone and they have the bubble above their head, and then you press L, then it will go to the kinstone fusion screen. But if you're just walking around Hyrule Town and you press L, then it should go into the dash attack. I don't know, that's just how I feel it should have went. But this way is okay too. It's just, yeah. It's certainly a downgrade from A Link to the Past, but it's still functional, it still works, it's still, yeah. It's just okay. And he tells you to come back when you can jump further than whatever he said. And jump in a Legend of Zelda game? What? Yes, we can jump in this game, but not right now. So now I do some more chicken catching, just so... I think I needed more rupees for something. I don't know what. We'll see. There I show that the Goron vendor sells crap, or sells kinstone pieces. And you can buy them if you want to, but the white pickle-light is such a better deal, so don't even bother. Just stick with the white pickle-light and just ignore that guy. Pretend like he's not even there, because he's really useless. So now head back to Castor Wilds, and whenever you come across these swamp areas, just use the Pegasus boots, and you'll be able to run across them like it'll be no problem for you. It's not an issue whatsoever. So in Castor Wilds, we actually get another item. I mean, this isn't considered a dungeon, but we actually get an item. And it's an item you would expect to get inside of a dungeon and not inside of a place on the overworld. But you do, and it's really strange. So head over here and come to this area with the lily pad. And just like the Earth Temple, you need to use the Gust Jar to push yourself along. And I think there's some enemies here too, so watch out for them. But if you're going fast enough, you really, you shouldn't even run into them. Or, no, there are no enemies right here. But most times on those lily pad areas, there are some enemies, so watch out for them. They could knock you off, and yeah. So head into this hole and you will find a bunch of blue ladybugs, and they're not much of a threat. And then a giant chest will appear, and inside, the bow and arrows. Yes, we get the bow and arrows in the overworld and not inside of a dungeon. And that's pretty strange. So the bow and arrows function just how you might expect them to. You just shoot arrows. It's kind of powerful, but it's really not worth using for the most part. You only really should use it when you need to use it, like for a puzzle or something, or for a boss that needs it. And trust me, you will be using it quite a bit, because the bow and arrow, they are used on quite a number of bosses, so keep that in mind. But overall, it's not really a useful item. It's not that great for general combat. It's really slow. Pulling the arrow it's really slow. It's a lot slower than, say, A Link to the Past, and it's just okay. For these gargoyle statues, or I don't know what kind of statues they are. They might be gargoyles, I don't know. Just hit them with 3 arrows inside their eye, and they will go down. Yeah, just like that. And what is this? A golden kinstone piece? The golden kinstone pieces, they are unique kinstone pieces, meaning that there's only one place you can use them. Whenever you see a golden one, you know it's for the main quest. So keep that in mind. And in this area, we need to get 3 of these golden kinstone pieces so we can get to the next area. That's just what you have to do. And all of the golden pieces are different from each other. No golden pieces are the same. And I think there are... I'm trying to think. There's 3 here. There's 1 later on, and then there's a whole group of them. So I think there's 9 of them, because I'm pretty sure there are 10 kinstone pieces you have to do for the main quest. One of them is when we're introduced to kinstone pieces, and then I think the other 9 are during the main quest. So if you go inside this gravestone, there is another sword trainer, but you can't train with him until you know every other technique. So just remember that he's here, and we'll come back to this guy later. So now that I have a little bit of extra time before we get to our next area, I wanted to address a few messages I've been getting for a while now. Just you know, over the past 7 or 6 months, something like that. It's just basically people that have been sending me messages saying, "Oh, you make such great videos and you deserve more subscribers and more views and whatnot." And to that, I have to say, thank you very much. I always appreciate those messages of positive encouragement and stuff like that. And I don't really think I deserve more popularity or whatnot. I really don't care, to be honest, because I just do this for fun, and if you like my stuff, then, well, you can have fun with me. But I certainly put more effort into my videos than some other popular YouTubers. I'm not going to say any names, but I don't know. I don't feel like I deserve a lot of views and stuff like that, but I'm pretty content with what I have right now. I'm not one of those people that really wants to get popular on YouTube. I just do it for fun, and that's what I feel like YouTube should be about, just having fun. But a lot of people they've kind of lost the whole spirit of YouTube, because I'm sure most people know that you can make money off YouTube if you get popular enough. So a lot of people try to become very popular. They say like, "Oh, like and favorite all of my videos and stuff like that," and it's like, I just don't see the point. I mean, I don't know if I would ever want to do this for a job. Like, yeah. Some of the things I do, they're really frustrating, and I like being able to take a break from it. And I mean, if this was my job, I would have no choice but to continue playing. And if this whole thing stops being fun, like if I stop having fun doing these videos, then I'm not gonna make them anymore. It's just, that's how it's gonna work. If it stops being fun, then I'm not gonna do it. Even though the challenges are frustrating at times, they are still really fun, especially when you complete them and you just feel so accomplished. And yeah, I do love the challenges, even though they are frustrating. and I think they will always be fun. I can't imagine a time where the challenges become not fun. And yeah, so once you get all 3 of the golden kinstone pieces, head to the southwest corner of Castor Wilds, and you will find these mysterious statues. And these statues will, once you fuse with them, they will become very happy, they will stomp on the ground, and they will crack this rock, which is right next to them. And once you fuse with all 3 of them, then the rock will break, and you will be able to move on to your next area. And the next area is entirely puzzle-driven. You just have to go through a series of puzzles to get to your next dungeon. The Wind Ruins, it's called. And they all revolve around these statues. And these statues that they move if they're turned on, and they don't move if they're turned off. And sometimes you have to turn them on and off. And you can turn them on and off by going into Minish form and climbing up their shield. And then inside there will be a switch, and it will turn them on and off. And that's kind of interesting, I guess. I don't really understand it. I don't understand it, but yeah, it's there. It's an interesting puzzle mechanic, and yeah, it's not too bad. Once you figure out what you're supposed to do, it shouldn't be hard to figure out. That Minish we just encountered inside that hole, come back to him later in the game, because he will lead you to another optional upgrade, and it is a useful one, so keep him in mind. Make sure you come back to him later on in the game, because he has a nifty item. Or he doesn't have a nifty item, but if you fuse with him later on in the game, it will lead you to a nice item. For some reason, you can't fuse with him right now. I'm not really sure why, and maybe they just didn't want you to have the item right now, which it doesn't make much sense, because the item doesn't really help you that much. But you'll see why later. For this area, become a Minish, and then head back, and then you will find these tiny little cracks in the wall where you can climb down these vines, and it will lead you to a few nice goodies, a few kinstone pieces if I remember correctly, or maybe it's a piece of heart at the end of this tunnel. But watch out for these flies, because they can knock you down and you'll take a lot of damage, and I hate these things. I mean, they're just a simple enemy, but they always seem to hit me, and they always seem to knock me down. Or, like right there, I just roll off. I mean, that's my own fault. With this game, I like to roll around everywhere, so sometimes that leads me into bottomless pits and stuff like that. So, if you're gonna play this game, make sure you take your time when you're going across these tricky platforming sections. Otherwise, you'll end up like me, and you're gonna fall in multiple times, and that's obviously no good, especially if you don't have that many hearts. Like if you're doing a 3-heart run, you're gonna die a lot, and take your time. Don't be like me. Don't rush through everything. I have that tendency to do that with a lot of games. I like to rush through as fast as I can. I don't know why. I mean, I can't explain it, but that's just something I do. I like to go fast. I mean, and it does cause me some problems, like with Mario games, it often leads me to getting hit or going into a bottomless pit. It really bothers me in Sonic games, because in Sonic games, I just like to go as fast as I possibly can, because you're Sonic the Hedgehog, and Sonic the Hedgehog, he's known for being fast, so I like to go as fast as I possibly can, and that leads me to a lot of bottomless pits, and sometimes in a Sonic game, you gotta slow down, but I never do that. I like to go as fast as I possibly can. And someone asked me to do like a Sonic game just for like a playthrough, and I would, but I'm just not good at the games. I mean, I can beat them just fine, but getting all the Chaos Emeralds, yeah, no. Not gonna happen anytime soon. I have done it with pretty much all the classic games except for 2. At least once. But I just don't do it consistently, just because I'm not very good at the games. I mean, I could do it in 3, no problem, because that's the one I've played the most. But, yeah, maybe I'll play a Sonic game in the future. But for now, I am not going to play a Sonic game. I'm just going to stick to my Zelda games and my Castlevania games. And then when I run out of those, then I'll consider doing a Sonic game. I'm not going to promise anything, because if I promise I'm going to do something, that means I have to do it, and I don't really want to promise I'm going to do anything. For these areas, you need to kill all the enemies to get these statues to disappear, and then you will go to the next dungeon. And in part number 11, we are going to explore that dungeon.